Hey everybody, it's Doug here. Doug Mystic Guy on Board Game Geek, Doug Herring on YouTube, bringing you another playthrough. This one is going to be a playthrough of Super Dungeon Explorer, The Forgotten King, which just came out recently as a Kickstarter, and I just got my box not that long ago and have been reading the rules, and oh my lord, I got some discussion before we get started. But this is by Ninja Division, as you can see. And of course, Soda Pop Miniatures. You know, if you want a couple companies that give you good miniatures, Soda Pop and Cool Mini or Not are two of them for sure. This is definitely one of them. If you, especially if you like the chibi type figures, they're really neat. But anyway, let's look at the board that I got set up, start talking about it, and let you know why this didn't get to the table a little sooner for me. So here's the board. I got it set up for a 4-player game, which I think is kind of typically what you would do. So I want to give you the experience of what the average game group will do. You can see I got 4 tiles going across there in kind of a L shape. So I played Dungeon Explorer, the original one, and I have an idea how to play that. I wouldn't say I'm an expert at it, but I played it, and I got the new one. I'm looking through the rules, seeing the difference in the basic game, the normal game. And I said, but I really want to demonstrate arcade mode, because that's really what you would do if you were playing solo, or if you didn't want to have the console. So the console is controlled by a deck of cards. So I started reading through that, and man, it's well, there's a lot of rules. First off, there's a lot of stuff in the game, a lot of powers, a lot of abilities, a lot of crazy things, and just I read through that thing. I think I'm on my 3rd pass already, trying to get this down so I could play it for you. Now, if you have never played Super Dungeon Explorer, I don't recommend going to the arcade mode first. I recommend playing the normal version of it, which I guess they're calling it in this version Classic Mode. Also, there is gosh, I'm sorry, I don't remember what your name is, but you'll recognize it. Maybe someone can post it and tell me who this is. I got this great little sheet off BGG that has a turn order. I'm probably going to take some pictures of this and have it posted up in the corner while I'm playing, because there's so much going on. I mean, look at all that stuff you got to do. Anyway, it's a cool game, awesome game, and I love the original game a lot, and I love the miniatures in the game. Just to give you an example, here's one of our heroes. This is the Thunderveil Huntress. She's going to be one of our heroes in this. Truly awesome figure, right? Yeah, and the gameplay's fun too. It's just so much in this, and with the changes to the rules, I'm just going to say, we're going to play it. I want to see if I get it right. And I'm expecting a lot of you to tell me, nope, that's wrong, that's wrong. And I'm going to need that, because this is a whopper. And I watched a couple other unboxings. I was hoping to see that somebody would put up some other playthroughs before me, so I wasn't the guinea pig. There might be one up, I'm not sure. But we're going to get to it. And first off, I want to talk to you a little bit about setup. So what we've done here is, you can see we got 4 boards. It's 1 per player, and they have some very specific setup instructions. For example, let me zero in on one of these boards. Okay, so here's the spawn point for this board. This is a Bramble Knight. You can see, I don't know if you can see it clearly, but it's very cool. It's a knight standing in a bunch of bramble thorns, a knight statue with no head on him, and that's the spawn point. Very cool looking. Anyway, the Bramble Knight is here on this spot right here that has the spawn symbol on it, and then we spawned creatures around him in a certain pattern, and those creatures are tied to, so this is the card that shows the bramble thorn spawning point, and you can see that it has certain creatures and critters on this one, and they're here. Now these cards look different as well. These are the cards for the arcade mode as opposed to the classic mode. The classic mode cards are different. Those are the ones that the console uses. They look a lot more like the player cards than these do. And then you can see that here we have one of the cards, and you can see that this is their stats if they are in a for the basic creature. This is their stats if they are in a by themselves, and this is their stats if they're in a gang, and they can be represented by the the gang is called the Executioners, and you can see it has one of these Grobet Executioners and Billmen in the gang, and that's going to happen especially at the beginning of the game when they're spawning, because they're spawning right around the spawn point. So, and I don't even know if I laid them out correctly. It says to space them out evenly, but there's all these terrain effects in the way. It says also not to put them on the terrain effects. So I tried to do that as best I could, and that's how we're going to start with this board. Now again, on this board you see there's other effects. There's these little symbols. That means that's blocked. It's basically a dwelling. And here I'll put the picture up. It's called a structure, and you can see there on the screen it says models cannot draw a line of sight across or move through this structure. Okay, that's the same with the walls, the black walls. They also block line of sight. And then you also have symbols like this one here. You can see that it's around these plants. That is called brambles. I'll put that up on the screen as well. So you can see that there's a ton of text on the rules. I'm not going to read it right now, but it's basically difficult terrain, and it has a poison effect. So we're going to have to remember all these things as we're going through it. So I think my initial turns are going to be very slow. I would like to do a full playthrough of this, but we'll see how long it takes. As I've been reading about, and this was also true in the normal mode, when the console goes and you're moving a lot of monsters, that seems to take a long time. Rumor has it, through message boards, etc., that it takes even longer in the arcade mode. So we'll see. Now, what is gone? The big board that tracked your advancement is gone now. The advancement for you to get treasures and thing, all that is gone. You can open these treasures. You can kill monsters to get loot draws. You can kill the spawn point, and it's going to drop some stuff. And then when you do that, after it drops some stuff, it's also going to spawn something like this. This guy, who would be I don't know if that's the right guy for this card. I think so. The mini bosses. There's going to be 3 of them in this scenario, and then of course we're going against the Forgotten King himself eventually, and that's him right there. Very nice looking, right? So that's the general. Now, when I laid it out, what you do is you get the tiles out, you put them down, then you roll dice. That dice might have had me flip it over or rotate it. I did all that already, so you didn't have to watch me doing that. By the way, this is the backpack, just to give you some things. When we go over, when we get stuff, we're going to do this power phase, and that's when we get to give the stuff to our characters. And then we'll just quickly go over the heroes themselves. You see, I'm going to be playing the Emerald Princess, or Princess Emerald. It's easier to call it either way. I'll just leave it up on the screen for a second. We'll go over their abilities as we play. I'm going to have the Royal Warden, and these are just the ones from the base game. I didn't take any. I have tons from the big booty box or whatever it is. It has other characters in it as well, but I'm just playing with the 4 base ones from the base game. The Thunderveil Huntress and the Questing Knight. So we got 2 ranged and 2 melee guys in there. No real magic users. I guess Princess Emerald has some level of magic that she uses. She can do some healing, etc. But anyway, that's going to be our characters, and then we got tons and tons of beasties that we'll cover. When we go out, I'll put the cards up on the screen for you when we're playing a certain creature. And now how this works now, another thing that's different is when we activate our heroes, we're only going to be able to activate 2 at a time, and that's been plaguing me already because these 2 folks here are probably going to get attacked. I'm even thinking they should start off like this, just from the fact that they're probably going to get attacked before they get to do anything, because we got to get in here, get the treasure, and kill the spawn point relatively quickly after we clear out the monsters, and hope that we don't have a spawn in between there, because then every monster we clear out comes back. And then there's this thing called disturbed monsters. Now, whatever tile you're on, all of those monsters are disturbed, as well as any tile where you have an opening, like right up in here. So as we start on this tile, all of these guys and all of these guys are going to be coming after our heroes. And how will I determine who they're going to be going after? Well, I buy this Wrath card. So our characters are going to generate Wrath. And typically, if it says move and attack on the card, the arcade card that we're going to pull, we're going to do things like add 1 Wrath to the destroying an elite or minion monster. We're using a healing ability generates Wrath, successfully using a support action, drinking a potion, opening a chest, and destroying a mini boss or spawn point is 2 Wrath. So when we do that, we are going to generate Wrath for that character, and that character is going to become the one that they attack the most. And again, that's something that resets typically after, I think it resets after every turn. I gotta go look that up. Anyway, I also seeded the decks the way they're supposed to be. We got our character cards right here so that we can attach stuff to them. This is going to get a little crowded, but this is the treasure deck. This is the loot deck. This is something new. This is whenever we go on a new tile, we're going to draw one of these cards. Remember, they're called adventure cards or something like that, and we're going to have an effect, and it's based on the current game that we're playing against, the Forgotten King. There's some of his special cards in there, and then this is the deck that manages this arcade deck manages the monsters. So those are the 4 main decks that we have, and of course there's other decks of cards, but those are related to creatures and things like that we're not going to be using in this scenario. So anyway, guys, that is our setup. I think we're just going to get right to it now. I'm going to try and squeeze out 1 turn in this video, which will, even then, I believe will make it a rather lengthy video, and we'll see how that goes. So to begin with, I'm going to make a quick adjustment on our starting positions. I'm going to do this instead, and you'll see why as I go along. But we're going to start with that, and the first one I think we're going to have go up first is our questing knight. Now, so how does the hero turn work? So the first thing in the hero turn is we just determine 2 heroes out of the ones we're playing that we're going to get to activate. So in this one, we're going to activate the Bramble Knight and the Thunderveil Huntress in this turn. They are our fighters. They're the ones that are going to be able to do the most damage as quickly as possible. And if you look now, I put the questing knight up on the screen. What you can see is he gets a movement of 6 and 3 actions. So we're going to zoom into the action, and we're going to do those. So first we're going to activate our heroes. Then we're going to do an upkeep phase. Well, we actually do the upkeep phase first. There's nothing to do right now. During the upkeep phase, we can end the effects of potions. We can spend princess coins. We can apply healing effects, status effects, etc. that are on the character. And then we're going to do the actual activation, which is basically moving and fighting. Okay, and there's a bunch of basic actions you can do as well, like open a chest, etc. And those require action points as well. So first up, we're going to go with our questing knight. He is right here. Now, one of the other interesting things, and actually playing solo makes it a little difficult, is that you can move and use your actions in any combination. So I could move 2, I could then attack, move 2 more, attack, and move 2 and attack. And that would be his 6 move and his 3 actions. Hopefully we won't have to do too much of that. We probably will later on strategically, but it's going to be simple for us this turn. Now the questing knight, you can see, has his first ability, Mighty Throw. It's a lance ability, lance 6 with a strength of, it gives +1 on his strength dice. His strength dice are already 2, so he's going to roll 3 dice. So we want to use that. So we're going to move him. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 right in front of this bill man. You can see he's got the what you call him, the Grobbit Executioner right behind him, and another billman behind him. My expectation is we're probably not going to kill the Grobbit Executioner. They got 3 hits, but we can kill 2 billmen. And his lance is going to be 6 spaces, so it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, goes all the way out to here, but we're not going to need to do that. We're just going to need to hit the 3 that are there. So let me get the dice bowl, and let's get some rolling going. Okay, so once again, with the questing knight, we are using his lance ability, his Mighty Throw. Now, he's also got Massive Sword, which is cool, but it can do massive damage, and he's got armor. Magic armor, he can use his potion. His armor right now is a 2 blue dice and 1 red when he's defending. That's good. That's why I wanted him up in front and absorbing, building some wrath so that they are attacking, monsters are attacking him and the Thunderveil Huntress as opposed to the Royal Warden and Princess Emerald. Anyway, we're going to get to that attack. So let me back out just a little so you can see the dice bowl. And so again, we got 3 red dice. We're going to roll those. And wow, he rolled some major hits. So how do we hit these guys? Well, they are in a gang. So if I put them up on the screen as well, you're going to see that they currently have a strength of 4 and a range of 4. So what was I trying to overcome? The billmen have an armor of 1, and the Grobbit Executioners have a armor of 2. Okay, so since he succeeded in his attack, by the way, he also got a potion icon. So that means when he popped one of these guys, a potion popped out, which is awesome because that's going to give him 2 potions. I think his maximum is 1, so I don't think he can get one. They all start with 1. But we did kill this Billman, so he's going to go back on the card. We also killed this Billman right here. He goes back on the card. And while I do have these really awesome little heart tokens I'm going to be using for the players, they're hard to see on the board. So he then applies 1 point of damage to the Grobbit Executioner. Now, keep in mind he didn't move all the way. He's still got a couple movement point left, and he's got that ability. You can see that Mighty Throw took 2 actions, but he's got 1 action left. So I think what he's going to do is, and I'm going to resolve all his attacks before I do things like draw loot cards, etc. I think what he's going to do is step up 1 more. That will end his movement. He won't have to move any farther this turn. And I think we're going to attack the Executioner again. We got to get him out of the way. Even though we could kill the Billman. Now, in this case, we're just doing a basic attack, not one of his abilities. So it's going to cost him just 1. It'll be 1 action, and then he will roll 2 dice. So I think I'm debating that the Billman or the Executioner. Well, the Executioner's got 3 points, and he does actually do more. He's got this death sentence ability that he can use. That will give him, it's a support ability, and it will give him some other stuff that he can do. Let's do that. We're going to attack the, well, no, I think we're going to attack the Billman, get him out of the way. If he's done, then all we have to worry about is the Executioner next turn. So we're going to roll 2 dice. Oh, he got, man, I'm rolling a lot of stars. I got 4 stars there. That is enough to do in the Billman. So he killed another Billman. Now, since those are just basic creatures, he is going to suffer some wrath. Okay, so being that he destroyed 3 minions, we're going to put 3 wrath on the questing knight. So he's got 3 wrath, and he does already have a potion, so he can't. I think I got to look this up again. I'm trying to remember all the rules, but I believe once you have your limit, which in this case is 1, he can't have more than 1. But I'm going to look that up. So then we also that ends his actions. He's got no more actions, so we're going to wrap that up. I gave him his wrath. Now I got to draw some loot. So with the loot deck, you can draw 1 loot card for every minion that you killed, up to a maximum of 3 loot cards. So we actually did kill 3 minions, so we're going to get 3 loot cards. So we're going to get the Granite Pendant, that's +1 armor, pretty good. The Sturdy Cloak is +1 armor as well, going in a different slot though. And then the Deadly Dirk, which is +1 to dexterity. These 3 items are going to go in, not onto the questing knight, but into our backpack. And then after all of our characters have gone, or 2 characters this turn to be exact, then we will have a phase where we get to power up and attach those items to the heroes that we've used. Okay, next up we have our Thunderveil Huntress. Now she's going to make a move first. Now you can see she's got 8 moves. She's got 3 actions, as most of the characters do. She does move a little more because she's a centaur, I suppose. By the way, I don't know if you notice in the card, you see these crystals, those are affinities. We'll touch on those as they come up. So you see a yellow one next to her Surefoot ability. So what we're going to do is, I believe we're going to move and then use her. You see her second ability, it costs 2 actions, it's called Trample, and it does a wave 1, and I'll show you, and it also can knock people down. It's pretty powerful. So we're going to go, now remember she's a large figure, but you still count each space as a move, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So she's going to end up right here, and now when you attack in a wave, let me show you. So you see that her ability says wave 1. That means she's going to attack in a wave in each space around her that touches her base. So in this case, we're going to get to attack, and I don't know all these creatures by name yet, but this one is the House of Frog. This is the Frog Knight right here. This is another Frog Knight and a Billman right there. So she's going to get to attack all 3 of those with her Trample. And you can, so her, again, Trample, you see it has a wave 1. It uses strength. It doesn't give her any bonuses, so she's going to get 2 blue dice and 1 red dice to roll for her attack. And it also does the status effect right there of knockdown. So we may have characters being knocked down, and it basically requires an extra action for them to get up if they survive it. Now the Frog Knights might, well they will actually. They have 2 points as opposed to the Billman that has 1. So even if she manages to hit all of them, And with this wave attack, again, just like that lance, you're only going to roll one set of rolls for all the beasties. So let's get the dice bowl out, and we're going to attack all those creatures. So you can see that that ability uses strength, and so it's going to be her strength score, which is 2 blue dice and 1 red dice. So we got that here. We're going to back up just a little bit, and I'm going to roll those for you. Okay, let's do that. Okay, we got the 3 dice here. We're going to see she needs 3. Oh, I think she got them all. Let's look at the armor of the knights. Their armor is 2. So she did hit all 3 of those creatures. And so we're going to do some damage. She's only going to kill one of them, though. So we're going to kill this billman. That's 4 billmen killed this turn. And we're going to do wounds on each of the knights here. Boom and boom. Oh, that's a potion. Sorry. Wrong token, so there's wounds on each of these fellows here, and then she still has 1 further action, so I think she's just going to do a basic attack on one of the other billmen, or I'm sorry, one of the other frog knights. Now, unfortunately, they're going to get to attack her because she is going to build up some. I think that I got to look at that. When you have wrath, I think they're going to go over whoever has the most wrath, which at this point is going to be the questing knight. But I also think there's a proximity thing. I got to look at that as well. Again, this is from the new arcade mode, so I got to keep looking at the rules repeatedly in between cuts. And let's see. We're going to roll these 2 dice again, 2 blue dice again, and 1 red. See if she can do damage. We'll just do damage to this one here that's closest to the rest of the party. Okay, she did 2, and got a heart, which doesn't help her because she's fully healthy. But she does get 2, which is equal to the armor of the frog knights. I don't remember if he has to go over, or I think it's over, or exact. So let me check that out. She may have done another point of damage. Okay, so since we didn't roll more stars than the monster's armor. Now, so you're probably saying, Doug, if you played Dungeon Explorer before, why is this a problem? Well, this is different. Remember, in the base game, and even in the classic mode in this game, the console rolls dice against the attacks of the heroes, defensive dice, like you'll see when our heroes are defending. But in this case, you're just comparing it to a flat number. There's no dice rolling in this, so it's a number of 2. I just want to know if she needed to match it or exceed it. So you do need to exceed it. So in her final attack, she did not do any more damage to the frog knight, but we did kill 1 more billman, so we are going to get a loot. I'm not going to pull the pile over. I'll just draw from here. An elvish rapier, +1 to dexterity. Not sure how that helps us. Well, I guess it does not. I don't know. It does +1 dice to dex attacks, but most of our guys don't have those. Well, I guess, yeah, the Royal Warden does, and so does the Emerald Princess, but we'll have to see how this rolls out. So I got 4 items to give out during the power-up phase, which will be next because we have completed our combat for our heroes. Now we're going to go to the power-up portion of the game, and let's take a look at that and see what we do there. So we activated our second hero, so we completed that. I got to do the status of knockdown status effects on these 2 frog knights. Almost forgot that. That is important. So it says, knockdown. A model suffering knockdown may not move or perform any other action until it spends 1 action point or all of its movement points to remove the knockdown token. So we're going to take a knockdown token and place it on this frog knight and this frog knight over here. They are both knocked down due to the stampede of our Thunderveil Huntress. So now you see, when you saw those monsters on the board, you're probably going, oh my god, how could you survive that? But you can see we can do a lot in 1 round. Anyway, let's continue on now that I've fixed that. Go back to our phase for power up. So the first thing we're going to do is we did this already. We drew a loot card for each minion or elite. We didn't kill any elites, but we did kill some minions. And then we're going to we can apply now treasure to okay, just checking through, making sure, so we can apply these cards now to our heroes. So let's go to our hero cards and see what we're going to do. Oh, also, before I forget, there's lots of little things to remember. We did kill the billman, so the Thunderveil Huntress did suffer 1 wrath. Well, since only these 2 activated, I'm just going to stay focused on them for right now. But I don't know that I do think we're going to give a couple of these items to these heroes because they're the ones I believe are going to be taking the brunt of battle. So we got a couple of defensive items, and one of them is this granite pendant right here, which adds +1 to armor. And I think we're going to give that to our questing knight. Yeah, let's see. I think we're going to give this to our questing knight. His arm is 2 and 1. Well, and the arm 2 blue dice, 1 red dice, and the Thunderveil Huntress is 3 blue dice. So I think we'll do that. So we're going to put this here. So how that works is you see the red dot. It matches up with the red dot. So we're going to align that. This is going to be, I'm going to have to stagger these guys, I think, so that you can see. I can attach all the items to them that they need. Okay. We've attached that to her. Now we also, or to him, the questing knight. Now I'm going to take this sturdy cloak, I believe, and I'm going to attach it to the Thunderveil Huntress. Right here. And then we got the Deadly Dirk, and these are dex items, or this is a +1 dex blue die. I think both of these other two are ranged, so I don't know how much this is going to help them. These are not ranged weapons. But I think we'll give the Deadly Dirk to the Royal Warden, and that's going to go right here on this side of him. And let me scroll up so you can see that. And then last but not least, we're going to give this one to the Emerald Princess. I'm probably going to have to move my bowls of items around and maybe push these up a little bit, these card decks. Okay. Well, that looks like that is it for our loot phase. All those things came out of our backpack. They made us a little tougher. We're going to get to defend a little better. And now we're done with that portion of the game. So next up, it is the console's turn now. Now, remember, in a basic game of Super Dungeon Explorer, a human being is controlling the console. But in this playing arcade mode, the console is controlled by the game itself. So we're going to first look to see if there are any disturbed monsters. And it says monsters are spawn points on any tile with a hero, and also any spawn point with that is attached or was attacked on the previous turn. So all these guys, and then also the other part of it is tiles sharing a door, and this one does. So all of these guys up here are also activated. Then we're going to determine order of activation. We don't need creeps on the board. We don't need bosses or mini bosses. So the next ones that would go would be elites. But the first thing we have to do in that is draw the card. So we know our order of activation. We're going to have the Frog Knights, and the Frog Knights are elites, and the Executioner, the Grobbit Executioner, is an elite. So all those guys are going to go first, followed by all the Billmen in this particular scenario. And then after that, now that we've determined that, we're going to see if there's any effects on the characters. So we applied. We have to apply the knockdown, and remember that. That'll come off when they go to their next turn. It's going to hamper them, or if they use all their movement, etc., to avoid that. Okay, now we're going to go to draw the command card and see how we'll be commanding our enemies this turn. So we got this purple deck here. I'm just going to put it right here on the table where you can see it. Boom, right there. Yeah. And we're going to draw the top card off of that, and it says the Gauntlet. So we're going to spawn. That sucks because we just killed all these guys. Move and fight. So, okay, well, we're going to have a lot of action this turn. We'll just start right here. So the first thing we're going to do is spawn. There are 2 spawn points. Yep. Got to think about this, guys, just for a moment. As I understand it, when you have sharing spawn points like these two here, I believe they're sharing, or is that the Bramble? Okay, Bramble Knight spawning point. And what I'm looking for is to see if it is a shared spawn point. I don't believe it is. It's the other one. It's the Old Growth Hollow is the shared one. Yeah, 2 Old Growth Hollows. Okay, so it doesn't matter. We're going to spawn. I mean, if I was the game, I would spawn them all right here. So we're going to spawn 1, 2. They're going to create an army here to protect the. Supposed to spread them out a little bit here. 1, 2, there. Guess we'll have to do 3 and 4 right here. He can't go in there. What is that? That's brambles. He's not going to. Can't spawn him there. So I guess we'll spawn him up here. Okay, there we go. We spawned. Now we're going to do moves. Well, these two guys can't move. Now let me check something quickly. So it is going. The monsters do target the hero that has the most wrath within range. So looking at these House of Frog guys, they can move 8, so they can't get over here to him. And first off, they can't move. So we're just going to use their entire movement to remove these 2 tokens. That means they are no longer laying down. They will get their attack, but they couldn't move, and they didn't have to. So if she had moved away, maybe she could have stopped them from chasing, but she's trying to get in here and start getting this treasure and attacking that spawn point. So we're going to do these 2 guys first. So they moved, and then their next action is going to be to perform a basic attack. Now, they don't perform all of their signature attacks. I've been reading through that, and I saw somebody do that, and I was like, if it just says attack, then it's just a normal attack. So, or fight. So we got to look at that. So, but we do still have to move. Well, the Grobbit's not going to move either. We do have to move the Grobbit up here. He is going to make his movement. The Grobbit Executioner has a move of 5. So this one here is got to go around the wall. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Well, he'll have to go through these brambles, right? So he's right here. These guys can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I guess this one will end up behind him right here, coming through that way. So those 3 elites moved so far, so that's all our elites right there that will activate. And then we are going to start doing some fighting. So let's get on to that. Okay, we're going to start here with this Grobbit Executioner against our questing knight. And the Grobbit Executioner does not have a unique ability, so or a signature move. He does, however, do the massive damage ability. He's got, let's see. He's going to make an attack. He is in a gang because he was within 2 of another figure that is spawned at that spawn point. So he will get his 4 strength as opposed to his 3 strength. And that means that, so right now he's got 5 moves and he's got 1 action. So he's going to take his 1 action and attack the questing knight with a basic attack. So why isn't he not using the cool ability in the blue with the blue button? Because that would be, if it said unique on this card, then he would use that ability. That is his unique ability, but he does not. So he's just going to make that basic attack. Now we get a defense roll. And that's one of the reasons I gave the questing knight the granite pendant, because it gives him +1 to his armor. So he's going to roll 3 blue dice and 1 red dice for his armor in hopes of defending himself against the attack from the Grobbit. Now, if he does hit, then he's going to do a point of damage, and he also has the massive damage ability. I need to look that up and see what that's going to do, or if it does anything in this turn. So let's just make sure, we're back all the way. We've got our 3. Again, he gets 2 dice for his base stats, +1 for his granite pendant, and that's going to give him those dice right there. So let's roll for those. Boom. Well, he got 4, 5, so he succeeded in fending off the attack of the Grobbit and did not take any damage. Now we move on to the 2 elites here. They're going to attack our Thunder Veil Huntress. Now, once again, the House of Frog Knights do not have a signature move, but they just have a unique ability. So they're going to use their 1 action to attack with a strength of 3. The Thunder Veil Huntress gets 3 armor dice, and she gets to add 1 to the roll because of her sturdy cloak. Not each roll, just she gets to add 1 point. So she's got 2 guys she's got to overcome a 3. She did it exactly with her cloak on that first attack from the first Frog Knight, and the second one she succeeded as well, and she got a heart, but she is perfectly healed, so we don't need to worry about that. So she managed to block the 2 attacks from them, but that's not it. We got all the billmen to go. So we're going to do the billmen on the questing knight first. The billmen, they have where are they? The billmen have they have a strength of 4 as well, so they're going to get 1 attack with a strength of 4 on the questing knight. The questing knight has, remember, he's got the best roll. He's got 3 blue dice and 1 red dice. So, but he actually got hit. So he took a damage, but he gained a heart back. So I believe that's going to zero that out. But let me just double check. Oh, bummer. It's only on an offensive roll, so I should have remembered that. So he is going to take a wound. So we're going to take one of these cool little wound markers, and that is going to go along with our Frog Knight. Now he's got wounds of 5, so he's still fine. But he did take that wound. Now we got some big attacks, so coming against our Thunderveil Huntress. She's got 2 billmen that are within range to attack her, right here and right here. So we're going to roll for each. We're not going to. Well, we're going to roll her defense rolls for each of those. Remember, she just gets 3 blue, and she gets +1 to the roll. So she does have to again overcome a strength of 4 with these. So that's pretty bad. Let's see if she can do it. She failed on the first one. She's going to take 1 wound, and on the second one, she failed as well. Well, wait. The first one she got a 3 +1 for her cloak, so she only took 1 point of damage. So out of those 2 attacks, she too took 1. She has 5 health as well. Looks like all the main characters have 5 health. So she is okay, but she did take a little bit of damage. Now remember, we do offensive rolls with the blue dice or whatever dice, and we roll the hearts. We can recover wounds that way. Well, guys, basically that ends that part of the phase. All of our critters that have attacked. Oh, we still have moves of the billman. I forgot to do the moves first. So he can't get within range, but what would he do? 1, 2, 3, 4. He could have gotten within range actually coming around the corner here. So we're going to have to roll 1 more attack. Actually, I should have done their moves first. I apologize. So we're going to have to get the 3 dice out again for our Huntress. She might actually take another point of damage. Of course, they're setting up for a big trample next turn from her. She rolled 2 again, so she took 2 points of damage. Hopefully she'll get some hearts back. And now next turn we'll be activating the Emerald, the Princess Emerald, and the Royal Warden. And Princess Emerald can do some healing. So we might need some healing on our Huntress already. She's got 2 of her 5 hits. And now I do have to move these guys up here. They really can't go that far. They can just file in behind the guys heading that direction, and that's what they're going to do. I think, let's see, can you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How do they move? They have a movement of 5, so that's just, yeah, that's about as far as you could get. Okay, guys, okay, I'm going to put this up. I'm going to see how I did here. We're going to end right there, and then we're going to go into like our little bit of a cleanup phase. Yeah, so we did that. We got these little commands, spawn unique. We got all that done. Okay, boom. We're done for this turn. Turn 1, knocked out. Boom, 2 heroes activated. Lots of fighting going on already. Got to get some treasure and some gear. We got that going on. Yippee, yippee. Awesome stuff. Okay, guys, I will see you next time. This is, again, this is Super Dungeon Explorer Forgotten Kings expansion playthrough, and I do hope that you enjoy it. We are going to have to keep track of a bunch of stuff here, so I fully anticipate errors on my part. Just bear with me. Help me out when you can. I love it when you guys give me feedback and help me fix things. That is great. So please do that, and I will talk to you next time.